So what happened was, as a result of that, we were obviously exposed to a lot of brands. We were exposed to a lot of brand. We were not exposed to a lot of advertisements overall. And one of the most, I think, memorable advertisements that I can also always think of is uh, there was a fantastic campaign by a whiskey called Imperial Blue, and the campaign was called "Men Will Be Men," and it ran for nearly 2 decades. I'm not sure if they are still running that newer versions of that campaign, across the streaming services or something like that. And the question I had was, Siddhant, you're in the hot seat today, is that do these alcohol and advertising campaigns translate to sales at your local theka, at the local alcohol shop? Because I think alcohol is still something in our country which we cannot very easily order home. We cannot Zepto it, we cannot Blinkit it. There is no
Right.
e-commerce store where I can order alcohol. If I want to have alcohol, I want to drink with my friends. I still have to get out of my house and walk to the local theka and buy whatever I want, right?
Right.
So I'm exposed at one part. I'm getting exposed to these advertisements, or I've grown up getting exposed to the advertisements. But there's no call to action in these advertisements, right? I'm just getting to
Fair.
know the name, and then I'm going to the local theka and buying. So, is there a correlation? How do you build the? How do alcohol companies build the sales pipeline? That's essentially what we want to analyze in today's episode, right?
Good. Yeah.
So, tell me, does advertising help alcohol brands?
See, advertising, does it help alcohol brands? Yes, it does. But whether alcohol brands directly generate sales through their advertising, not so much. It's not as if I will run a campaign today and I will see my sales increase linearly, based on the campaign that I run. Jan, say June, I've run a campaign and I see that March to end of the year, my sales has gone up exponentially. That's not how it works for this industry.
Mm-hmm.
So, and primarily because I think its roots lie in the fact that alcohol existed before the concept of advertising existed.
Okay.
Okay, so alcohol, the way it was discovered, we have no clue. It is probably discovered through some sort of fermentation process, right?
Yes, of
And
course.
yeah, and it became a very big thing in social ceremonies. So there were rites of passage, and if you, even for warriors, then in the church, it was used quite a lot, voraciously, if I may say so. That was wine which was used a lot. Births, marriages, feasts, conclaves, crowning of a new monarch, all of this, alcohol was a very integral part of the ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so people knew about alcohol much before brands started advertising alcohol. And this is also proved in writing. So the oldest known code of laws, which is Hammurabi's Code of Law, which was back in Babylonia in 1700 BC, has a law for the way alcohol was prescribed or consumed.
Oh, so they were
It
using it that time also as physicians. It was not like a bunch of cavemen sitting in a cave getting drunk.
Yeah, I suppose not. ऐसा पांच लोग बैठा है bonfire कि bro आज तू कौन सा जानवर देखा. I don't
having
think it happened,
having a
but
having a proper sesh over across a bonfire. Yeah.
you will not believe what I saw in the sky tonight. But
The-
yeah, but yeah. So the thing is, it's been used ever since, right? Alcohol has very very ancient origins, and at this point of time, forget advertising. Communication itself was not invented.
yep.
So how will you have people knowing about alcohol? It was probably people came to alcohol on their own in different parts of world in different parts of the world simultaneously.
Yeah, I mean, I think I read this part where basically the oldest form of alcohol which can probably is recorded is ironically in the if I'm not wrong, is it the I think it's the Zagros Mountains, which is modern day Iran, which is very ironic. It's the oldest form, like is was the record of the oldest form of beer, probably.
Oh man, if only they knew, they'd be tripping
Yeah.
balls. But yeah, so that's the whole point, right? Of course, with time the utility of alcohol has decreased. Nowadays it's very ceremonial, not used as openly, but it's always been around. So to come back to your question, whether alcohol impacts sales directly, no. Alcohol does not directly impact sales, because alcohol marketing does not directly impact sales, because firstly there are too many brands in the world today. Everyone has their own choice of poison. And secondly, alcohol as a concept is not new. It's existed ever since and will continue to exist.